We are going to talk about listening. Let's reflect about your listening skills. Now that we are in the review of the exam, we need to start working on our listening skills. So I decided to prepare some questions for you. Well, I would like Gabby to read these questions. Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you, teacher. Reflect on your listening skills, then tell the class about it. Can you understand the main ideas and supporting details when listening to complex topics? Are you able to follow and grasp different accents and varieties of English? Do you recognize and understand advanced vocabulary and idioms used in spoken English? Can you make logical inferences based on the information provided in the audio? Are you able to predict what might come next in a conversation or lecture? Do you understand the context and purpose of the spoken text? Can I identify the speaker's tone, attitude, and intentions?
My mistake, it is can you identify? So I decided to include these questions for everyone here in the session to reflect. For example, for me, I think it is still difficult when I need to, or when I listen to people, for example, in videos where the action is not so evident. When there is no this visual support, and especially when it is an informal context, people in the streets or people fighting for something. For me, it is difficult, especially if they are like very informal context. It is still difficult for me. And the different accents, I think for me the most difficult accents are Scottish accents. No, British, no. I would say Irish. And the most difficult for me is Australian accent. Really difficult. They speak really fast and totally impossible for me. Advanced vocabulary, well, not so difficult. I think for me it is quite easy because it is usually more formal. But if it is informal, sometimes I have problems. Logical inferences about the information. Yeah, sometimes we need to learn how to listen for general ideas. And when it refers to specific information, well, these general ideas can help you to understand specific information. Predict, am I able to predict? Sometimes, according to the context. It is difficult, for example, when the information is not really relevant or it is not complete, but I can do it. I think I need to watch more documentaries, just because they help me to improve my listening skills, especially when talking about advanced English. And the context and purpose, yes, usually, sometimes not only the purpose, but the function. The purpose is why are they doing this? They are agreeing on a meeting, but the function could be to apologize or to ask for a favor. So it is a little bit difficult sometimes if you don't have enough context. The tone refers to if it is formal or informal sometimes. The attitude, if they are angry or if they are trying to apologize. And the intentions, what do they want to do? So what about you? What about your listening skills? Who says me? Before we go to the rooms and discuss it. How easy or difficult is it for you? Who says me? Before I choose some victims.
Me.
Okay, Omar. What about you? And Alex?
listening,
Yes.
I don't know if say quite good, but good, yeah. So lately, I have found foreigner people in the street. Some of them native English native speakers, and some of
Native?
them native, and some of them Europeans, which are not native, but they speak quite good. And I have been able to talk with them and understand what they say, think easily. So I will say my listening is, I don't know, maybe 90% at least.
Okay. Okay. And what accents are difficult for you?
Well, the most recent one, it was an English one, but it was funny because he had no British accent. I don't know why. Maybe because he was from Sudanese heritage,
Mm-hmm.
but he was native. He was a British native, so I don't know why he didn't have the accent. So normally I would say British, but he had in the accent, so I don't know.
Mhm.
But some I have recognized before, and this will sound funny, but black people from the ghetto in the United States, those are difficult, and
Mhm.
Jamaicans are difficult, and East Europeans when they try to talk English, those ones are difficult as well, and I can't remember
German
anyone else.
people. German people when they try to speak English, they sometimes they make the V like more woo, V or something like that. Uh-huh. Yeah, I totally understand what you are saying. Maybe this person didn't have an accent, well, didn't have a marked accent because of the region he or she was native, but also it happened to me once. I went to Chiapas and I found a girl. I met a girl, really beautiful, by the way. And her job was to be this kind of advisor for politicians. And she said that she needed to work on her accent a lot because it is better for these kind of people not to have a marked accent. I don't know why, but it is kind of the kind of projection they want to do. So they try to eliminate the accent they have. So it may be connected to that also for the job or the region that they come from. Sometimes it happens. Okay, thank you, Omar. Who says
Yeah.
me? Alex, thank you. What about your listening skills, Alex?
Well, I consider they are not so bad, but of course I need to keep improving them. And I I agree with you when you said that the Australian pronunciation is the most difficult. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, also African people, well, some parts, but I love their accent. I love the accent of African people. I don't know why, but I like it a lot. And what do you think you need to do, Alex, to improve your listening skills?
Well, I think I have to work on or to train myself to keep focus because I have noticed whenever I am focused,
Mhm.
whenever I am paying attention to what I'm listening to, I find it not so difficult to understand every single word. But the matter is, I can easily get distracted.
Yeah, and we need to concentrate when when we are listening. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay, and what is the most problematic part of listening for you?
Uh, Maybe the vocabulary I'm not familiar with
You are not familiar
or the
or
slang.
familiarized with. advanced vocabulary or
Slang.
like some jargon, some specific or technical vocabulary?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, let's do something. I am going to open the rooms. You can open the presentation on your own computer. I sent it through the chat. Okay. So you can open it and read the questions there. I am going to open the rooms for all of you. Just let me find out how, because sometimes it gets moved. Okay, 3 participants or 4 or 2 participants. Let's do it with 2 and 3, okay? So you will be in 3 rooms working on this, okay? So you can go there and reflect on this together. Thank you.
Multiple choice
Sorry.
question for each extract, and you have to choose A, B, or C.
Okay, so for listening part 1, they give you 3 extracts and they have multiple choices, multiple choices. So you have to choose from these 3 options the one that is how do you say this, that better summarizes what the speaker said. So what do I have to practice, Rebe?
Listening for feeling, attitude, opinion, purpose, function, agreement, course of action, gist, detail,
Yes.
etc.
So feelings, if they are angry, sad, worried. Attitude, if they feel aggressive or they feel apathetic or they feel sympathetic. Attitude, if they feel they want to cooperate or not. Opinion, if they have a positive or a negative opinion. Here for opinion, I think it is more specific. You need to go for more specific ideas. Purpose, what is the reason for them to do or to say something? The function, what do they have to do? To apologize, to ask for a favor, to, I don't know, maybe they want to organize something. What is the function of what they are saying? The agreement, if they agree on doing something or if they have the same opinion. Course of action, what is one of the speakers going to do? Or what are they together going to do? Gist is something general idea. A gist, like, I think this is the general idea. Detail, more specific information. So in total, you have 6 questions, and each question is marked, it has 1 mark. In all the listening. Because in reading and use of English, we saw that some sections have 2 marks per item, per question. But in the listening section, every item, every question is 1 mark. Okay? Simple. We are not going to listen today. No. I don't want to make you suffer yet. We are just getting to know the structure. Okay? Then we have listening part 2. Okay, listening part 3. Remember, 3 extracts, 6 questions. And it is like I don't know, this part is like 3 or 4 minutes. Okay. Then listening part 2, sentence completion. This is very similar to what we did in FCE. That you need to listen for specific words. Well, this is for Lou. Thank you, Lou. Sentence completion.
Sure, teacher. What is in part 2? A monologue lasting approximately 3 minutes. You have to complete the sentences on the question paper with the missing information, which you hear on the recording. What do I have to practice? Listening for a specific information, stated opinion. How many questions are there? 8. How many marks are there? 1 mark for each correct answer.
And if you can see, or as you can see, for example, we have 6 questions and number 7 is part of the next section. So they tell you 8 questions. Well, it is a text, some sentences. Sometimes it is like in the way of a paragraph, but mostly in this kind of sentences that you have to complete from 2. Sometimes they are only 1 word, 2, 3 words. They can be up to 3 words here. So we are going to check how to do it, some techniques, don't worry. So as you can see, it is also very short, 3 minutes. And remember, you can listen to each part twice, only 2 times during the exam. Okay, and this is more related to specific information that you have to catch. Spelling is important here because in number 1, you just need to choose the best answer. But here, your spelling is important. If the spelling is wrong, sorry, no marks for misspellings. Yes, and in the exam, well, in the exam paper, when you write your answers, you need to write capital letters. Remember this, capital letters for your answers. Okay? Well, then listening part 3. This is for Alvaro. Thank you.
Yes. What is in part 3? A conversation between 2 or more speakers of approximately 4 minutes. You have to answer some multiple choice questions by choosing the correct answer from 4 options, A, B, C, or D. What do I have to practice? Listening for attitude, opinion, agreement, gist, feeling, speaker purpose, function, and detail. How many questions are there? 6. How many marks are there? 1 mark for each correct answer.
Okay, as you can see, there are 6 questions again, as the same as in part 1, but this time it is different because in this part, in part 3, it is just 2 speakers or maybe only 1. Only 1. But this is usually related to an interview, a conference, a lecture in a university. So instead of having three different extracts, you only have 1 larger extract. This is especially difficult because you have to be concentrated for 4 minutes because this is long. So the good thing is that the questions are in the order that they speak. The information is presented in the same order as in the recording. And the good thing is that it is only multiple options, and you are given some time, specific time, to read the questions and the answers, and then you listen to it. But you need to learn how to do it fast. Okay, and just to finish today, part 4. It says listening part 4. It is multiple matching. Here, this one, I think it is the most complicated because in here you need to do 2 things, 2 tasks at the same time. The most difficult part. Okay, who is there? Who can read it? Who can read it? Okay, Omar had to leave, but I think Lou can read this. Thank you.
Sure, teacher. What is in part 4? A series of themed monologues of approximately 30 seconds each. On the question paper, there are 2 tasks, and for each task, you have to match each of the 5 speakers to 1 of 8 possible answers. What do I have to practice? Listening for gist, attitude, opinion, main points, speaker's purpose and feeling, interpreting context. How many questions are there? 10. How many marks are there? 1 mark for each correct answer.
Aha. Well, in this case, you are given time to read the two tasks. Task one, for question 25 to 20, 21 to 25, choose from the list A to H the reasons each speaker gives for changing jobs. So the first task, you need to match the 5 speakers to some sentences. And the second task, it is for the same speakers, but with another option that they have to match. So usually what people does is that in the first time they listen, they do one task, and the second one, they do the other. But it is important to read the two tasks before you listen. Okay? So next class, we are going to have some kind of a question session where you can ask all the questions that you may have so far. And then we are going to the speaking section of the exam. Next Monday. Okay? Easy, difficult, impossible?
Nothing is easy, teacher.
Nothing is. Okay, well. So next class, we are going to review some parts of the listening, and then we are going to start with speaking, the speaking part.
Okay.
Okay, see
Sure,
you next
teacher.
day. Enjoy your weekend. Be happy.
Enjoy your
teacher.
weekend, all of you.
Forever.
Nice
Bye.
weekend.
Have a nice
See you.
weekend. Alex. Bye, Rebe.